you touched on obviously how you kind of had low confidence. So how did you start to build on your confidence and emerge?
That's a very good question. Honestly, bro, I just feel like I was just on flight mode, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
Because I think the more I kept on thinking about how to progress, the more I was actually going back on myself, because I'm an overthinker, right? So the more I keep pondering on it, the more I'm just going to keep setting myself back. So I just believe in just being on flight mode. So I just never think, I just act upon it. And for me, I believe in confidence is silent. I'm not really on this thing of like, oh, this is who I am, this is who I've played for, this is how much I've made. I'm not really about that. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I know a lot of people get really confused in my personality, because I'm this person off stage, quiet. Unless if I know you, you'll be comfortable, crack jokes, mad things.
Yeah.
And this guy, stage mode, I don't recognize myself sometimes. I look at a video and be like, I will never do that in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because to me it's weird. So a lot of people ask me this all the time. So when I perform, and I thank Michael Jackson for this and the band, because I realize like you're not just performing and you're not just doing a job to get paid. Like I like to be the character of the music I'm playing. So if a rapper's saying I'm a boss and I'm this, I have to make sure I'm playing them drums like a boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Although I know I'm not like that, but I have to, because I need to represent
The set.
And I have to think about the producer, where he was at. So that's how I think, and I just try and put my personality and project it out. And I feel like that's probably the reasons why a lot of people like connect with me, because I've just put everything in. You know what I mean? And the more I just kept on doing that, I realized that every time I perform, even though I was very scared, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm always honest on my Instagram. I'm very scared, bro. But this is why I always say, do it when you're scared. Because you see, when you cross that line where it says stage, you can't go back.
Yeah.
And that's my way of thinking about life. Once I cross that line, there's no way I'm turning back. It's either you sink or swim.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I just have this crazy mindset of this, like, once I cross that line, I can achieve anything, no matter what. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man, I'm just a huge believer in just like making sure that even when I'm playing, it's not just about me, it's about everyone. And my gift is not just for me, it's for everyone. So I give everything, bruv, you know? And yeah, that's pretty much.
So before we get into that, let me ask you a question, yeah? Imagine you meet a girl, yeah? Bro. Fire. Yeah? I'm talking Janae Aiko levels.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You're making me blush.
Black blush.
That expensive, that is. A black blush. No, I'm joking. Say again.
And you're all cuddled up, Netflix, she's all kissing on you, nibbling your ear.
1 second. Big Sean, turn off this episode.
And then, yeah, she says, oh, you know, I've been thinking, I love having this time with you, but you don't really like going to theaters.
See the way I'm looking into my camera. This is all right.
You don't really like going into theaters. You don't like going to museums and stuff like that. And there's this guy Byron, and Byron loves all of that stuff. And I feel like when I'm with you, it's great, but I'm missing out on this other element. So I was wondering if we could introduce Byron in this.
That's some nonsense, bro. I wish I could wait till you got to the end, innit? But that's some bullshit right there, fam. You see
because
that? Yeah?
A lot of people tend to have the idea that like polyamory, is just a festival of threesomes, innit?
Yeah,
but some people, they have like partners who they're not sexually active with, that they go for walk, they go holiday and that with them, and
yeah, that's still mad to me.
Okay.
You know, you see in life.
I knew what you was gonna say.
Yeah, I know you knew.
But
I
wanted to give you the opportunity to say.
You know what my thing is, yeah? That the ability to lack something, yeah, is an important human trait. You know, you can't have everything that you want. You know, there's a lot that you can have, but there's some things that you can't do. You have to say to yourself, actually, this is what I'm geared up for. This is what I can do, innit? Like, for example, yeah, if you're going to study to be a doctor, yeah, the chances of you studying to be a lawyer at exactly the same time, what? So if you're going to tell me that I want to be a lawyer by 30, but I want to be a doctor by 31, can you do that? No, you can't, innit? Like, unless you got Jay-Z money and... Do you,
You can't do it.
You can't do it, yeah. It's going to require a lot. And the practice as well.
Yeah,
you
you can't
exactly. Do it. So my thing is, that's stupidness. Do you get what I'm saying? Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to please all of your desires, all at once, and try to make some dickhead of me while you do it.
With Byron.
You must... With a youth that's named after a burger, fam. Like, you can piss off, you get me?
Just what were... We'll get into your nanny and stuff a bit later on in it, but what are the most memorable memories you have of your household growing up?
Well, I grew up in a big family, so I'm one of 6. So there's loads of memories. There's, oh God, which one? Like good or bad?
One of each, I think.
One of each, okay. A good memory was just like being around my cousins and my family all the time. Like we were very, very close. So just playing together. Just even if it was like playing blackjack or we got a game called Boy Girl that we used to play all the time. So just those kind of playing memories. But a bad memory that was a good memory was one time my mom's friend, who was a male, he got really angry with me at one point and he hit me. And I told my sisters and they basically made him tea and they spat in the tea. Oh. And then they watched him drink it and then we were all laughing.
Wow.
There was 6 children just watching this man drink tea. They looked at us like, why is everyone watching us? As soon as he drank it, we all started cracking up. So yeah, that's a bad but good memory that I remember.
Hey, kids can be wicked.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had anyone kick off the show like that, bro. And then like you start to understand the industry a little bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? So
what's your view on
that'll be interesting.
And obviously don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, bro, man will sign, bro. Like, yeah, man will sign, bro. Like, for me, I just feel like, bro, like, everyone can't be an entrepreneur, bro.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Some people are bosses, some people are workers. It's how the world is run, man.
Yeah.
Like, but I think we're sold this narrative that everyone's a boss. Not everyone's a boss, bro.
Yeah.
No, you get me? Like, when I look at it and I've sat down with people and I've had conversations and stuff, and it's like, being independent, there's a bigger definition to that. What is really being independent? Because half of the people who say they're independent is not even independent. So what is independent? Is independent being solely independent? Is independent being owning your masters and having a distribution deal? Is independent just signing off a couple singles but having your own entity? Is independent putting out the music just yourself, nothing else? No one's truly independent. Everyone is dependent on something, bro.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We depend on these streaming platforms. We depend on this PR. We're all dependent. So I think that is another false narrative that's been sold, and a lot of artists are missing out on opportunities because they are like, oh yeah, I'm independent, because that's what it's cool to be independent.
Now,
And I know Jay-Z's selling that narrative, all of them are selling that narrative, like sign yourself, do this, but not everyone can do that. When you work with a label, yes, they take a percentage of it's what you negotiate at the end of the day, what you negotiate and what you're willing to give to the label, but they give you something as well. People act like you sign to a label and they don't give you nothing. They just sign you and sit you down. They want you to make money. Obviously, if you don't make, like, they want you to make money. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm not going to talk and say I wouldn't sign to a label. I'm not going to say I'm not going to be independent. At this present moment, I am independent. I'm a free agent, bro. Like, I'm a free agent. I've signed deals in the past. I've signed single deals. I've signed distribution deals. You get me? I've signed project deals. I've done all that signing stuff, but I'm independent. I haven't been signed with a record deal. But if a record deal was to approach me and it would work in my favor and it's something that I could work with and there was a nice chunk of money there, why would I leave that on the table? I wouldn't leave it. For me, I always believe in anything situation that has been given to me, I will maneuver it for it to work in my favor. And that's just how I look at it.
And how do you guys figure out balance? Because one of the things that I've realized, even just listening to you, is that your household is very, very, very balanced. And even when you said, at one time, the wife had to take over the bills, and it didn't seem like, when you said it, it didn't seem like it was all out war. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially like not like these days, you don't take a girl to Sexy Fish and that, and it's war, innit?
No.
When you marry the right one, you see.
But again, that's when you see, when you find somebody who understands the vision. So she's always understood the vision. She's always seen the potential, and it was just God's timing.
Yeah.
So even at that point, she knew that there's gonna get to a point where it's gonna be balanced. She knows that ultimately I want to get to a point where she doesn't have to work for somebody.
Yeah.
She can work doing her own thing. So that's always been my goal. So she understands that in this thing, like this marriage thing, bro, you gotta take the rough with the smooth.
Yeah.
You gotta take the wins
all
with
the way
losses.
to the end.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? And for me as a man, and I think this is why it's important for me to mention it, it wasn't a thing. I know a lot of us feel like, we've always got to be earning more than our partner or whatever. But to me at the time, it made more sense, not just financially, but for the sake of the twins. Because the fact that they were able to then spend more time with their dad, what they've learned in those 7 years or whatever, like I left my full-time job back in 2012 to then start doing radio on top in the mornings on my breakfast show for free.
Oh man.
So I wasn't even getting paid. Do you know what I mean? But at that time, God was like, you know what? He made it so uncomfortable for me at work. You know, sometimes like he's got to make it really uncomfortable. Like there's going to work and not liking it, and then there's going to work and thinking I really don't want to be here. Which was affecting my mental state. You know what I mean? I was actually at one point on the verge of like a nervous breakdown, literally. And then there was a scenario at work where the feds had to come into my shop. And everybody knows the household I come from, me not come from that. See, mommy and daddy Milktray, the one thing that listen, don't make police come knock my door. I don't care what happened, don't make the police come knock my door. So as far as I was concerned, police was knocking our door because that's my workplace. And then that was when I said, you know what? It's time for me to hand in the notice. And that was probably one of the landmark moments in my life, because I was literally working on faith. Like I'm leaving my full-time job. I've got a family. The twins are about 2. The missus is still, at that time she was at home. And I'm like, yeah, babe, like I'm going to leave. Dad, I'm going to leave. Okay, all right, son. I mean, when you say you're leaving the job, I mean, as in you're leaving, or no? I'm gonna go part time, Dad. So how much hours is this part time? I said about 15. He said, well, you're sure?
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you're true. What you said is true. Attentive, because that's one thing about me. I've always said, me as a parent, I want to be so attentive with my daughter because I understand all the factors that are going to be against her. All the things that are going to be against her without her even realizing it. Because I didn't realize it. I had to get to a certain age, be like, Mom, Dad, you've done an amazing job. But you missed out this bit. This one bit you missed out. And that's why you find, if you notice, a lot of Africans at the time were not very proud to be African. They were saying, I'm from Jamaica.
Yeah,
with a thick African accent.
I'm half Jamaican.
I'm half Jamaican.
Where you from? Kingston, bro.
Kingston, Jamaica. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those ones. I never did that. I was 100% proud to be Ghanaian. And the reason why, I thank my uncle Kwaku. He was a Pan-Africanist. And he used to go to all the Pan-Africanist events all over Africa every year. So if it was in Eritrea, he was there. If it was in Congo, he was there. Wherever it was, every year he was there. So because he had that pride in him, he had more pride in being African than my mom. My mom was just African. So she didn't need to show her pride. She did it by wearing the clothes that she wore, but she wouldn't actually speak of it. Whereas my uncle, every time he opened his mouth, Africa, Africa, Africa. He played music, Africa, Africa, Africa. He wore clothes, Africa, Africa, Africa. He hated his name. He used to be called Michael. He changed his name to Kwaku because that's the name that's you know, everyone's got that middle African middle name. That's like Bond, the middle name. That's my first name. So it took me a while to wrap my head around. I used to call him Uncle Michael. Oh, sorry, Uncle Kwaku. I mean Uncle Michael. I mean Uncle Kwaku. And that's when I realized, damn, why do we have these names? They're not even our names. You know what I'm trying to say? They're not our names, like seriously. And that's when I realized that if not for my uncle, I would have been one of those kids in school going, I'm Bayesian.
What would you say was your biggest learning lesson of starting Tune Direct?
Ooh, come with a good questions today,
Thank you.
He said, take it. The biggest lesson. It's hard because there was a few.
They're saying top 3.
I read this book called Go for No. Go for No, and it's about changing your mindset in regards to when you go to approach someone to present your idea. And it says, you know what? When you get the no, it's not bad because you're learning something every single time. So you're actually not going for the no, but in your head, you're going for the no. Because if I go there, I'm going to learn. Then I jot that down. All right, cool. Jot that down. All right, cool. Jot that down. All right, cool. So when I reach you now, say yes, 100%, 100%. And also it says the most important thing in Go for No is no never means no.
Yeah.
It just means not right now. No. It means not yet.
Yeah,
that's
not
it.
yet,
And that was probably the most, because at first I'm reaching out to barbershops. No, I just get aired. No, I'm good. I had one barber. Oh man. Oh man, this one hurt me bad, you know. This one hurt me. So I reached the barber, it's an older man, staple barber in Lewisham. And walked in there. The entire time I was in the shop talking to him. Didn't look at me once.
Oh, mad.
I made the mistake of actually going to him when he was trimming, which is another thing I learned, right? Yeah. Part of the Go for No, okay, don't go when they're trimming. But some barbers, a lot of the time now, barbers will actually respond. But with him, it was finished talking. So I realized I've been talking for a while. Yeah. So no, so I was not talking. I was like, what do you think? And then he was like, yeah, man, go and try it with them guys over there, and then yeah.
Wow.
I said, all right, yeah, cool. Walked out. I was like, why? I walked out laughing, and I got home. I said, bro, that kind of hurt. So yeah, but it's about taking things on the chin. I had to take a lot on the chin. I had to realize maybe it just wasn't my time when I was in the earlier stages. Because as I said, I was working on Trim Direct from April 2019. Yeah. So that is building the idea. Initially, it was just a directory. And then it was, let me provide more experience. Let me provide the barbershop support services. Let me do this X, Y, and Z. And that was getting the barbershops on board, making sure I have this solid value-adding service or features on my actual app. So it was a process. It's definitely a process, but the hardest thing was probably just okay. One of the top 3 is you get over pride still. Yeah. A lot of barbers got pride, you know. Oh man, a lot of barbers got pride, and it's like I can hear in your voice, I can see in your eyes, you understand this is actually good. Yeah. But you just don't want to let me know that you need any support, or not even need any support, that you could do support. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's but yeah, it's getting around those types of things, like the pride and the nose. It's just having thicker skin, really.
So just getting back to your story. So can you talk me through the day that you went into foster care? Like what kind of things you were feeling, and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, so okay, so the day I went into foster care, I remember I'll tell a funny story actually, which might make you laugh. But so I actually went to one placement first before I ended up in my forever placement, we'll call it. And it was funny because my godmum actually dropped me to that placement. And remember we were sitting in the car and my social worker called me. She said, Gem, I'm going to be there in a minute, so just, wait for me downstairs. And I was sat in the car next to my aunt, and I said to her, God, Auntie Amanda, wouldn't it be, I said, I wouldn't like it if I walk in there and the carpet's red, right? Hear me out. And there's beads hanging from the door, right? Now, I'm not materialistic, but I do like the finer things in life. So I'm thinking, God, if she's got beads hanging up, I can tell we're going to have some cultural differences here. I was thinking, oh my God, you never guess what? I walked in, the hallway carpet was red. I swear to you. And she had beads hanging from the door. I swear, if I could go back there and take some photos and I looked at my godmum, and it was almost like those were the 2 signs I knew this was not going to be the placement. And funnily enough, that placement broke down within 3 months. It was only meant to be a respite because, like I said, my relationship with my dad was meant to rebuild back up, but that didn't happen. And I think the main reason this relationship broke down was because she was looking for a child to nurture. She wanted to take that child to the park and swing her on a swing. Listen, I was 14 at the time. You wouldn't have been swinging me on a swing. So like, it just, she was looking for something different than what I was. And I think that was what separated her from my foster mum, who I cannot speak highly enough of, who I later went to, because what this woman originally tried to do was tried to be a mum when I wasn't looking for a mum. I've had a mum. What I wanted was a female figure or a mother figure that was going to come in and try that, fill that void, you know, in a way that, how I like to say my foster mum, Shelley, who I ended up with forever, did. She did it unintentionally. She came in and kind of filled that gap.
So do you feel like you see your relationship with your dad, yeah? Do you feel like it sowed the seed for you to be more present? Like, did you always feel like, when I have kids, I'm going to be there for them? Or did you worry that you were kind of going to go down the same path and him and then...
No, I always knew I wouldn't go down the same path. But this is one of the things I teach with co-parent coaching, right? Is that based on how we grow up, whether we see something or don't see it, right? We have a kind of expectation of what we want or how things should be, right? How you two are raised is probably what you see as normal, right? And if you wasn't raised around normal, you would have got your version of normal from something. So to me, it was watching My Wife and Kids, The Cosby Show, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
I would watch those programs, yeah, and to me, it would be, I want to be that kind of dad. That's the dad I want to be, the funny one who's got the wife that's funny and the kids, and they got all these jokes, and I'm mixed race, so I could have played any part anyway. Do you know what I mean? I could have been in any one of them shows. And for me, it was like, that's what I want. So when I had Amari at 22, me and his mum weren't in a great relationship. We'd only been together for probably 9 months, and we was probably at the end of the relationship, and then she fell pregnant. So that's where the part kicked in, where it was like, nah, this needs to work, because I can't not be with the mother of my child like my dad was. So you then try and force something because of your fear, and you're making it worse. We weren't good together. And I've always said the first 2 years of Amari's life, me and his mum were at it. Like, everything I teach now about how not to be is because I was that.
We had a lady on the show called Gemma, and she was talking about, she had this moment where she was like, this is my home placement. This is where I want to be. Did you have a moment like that, or has it been a bit different for you?
Oh, bro, it's been mad. Home to me is like the bars, G.
Yeah.
Home to me is around not people blood related to me. Home to me is people, it's being around people that have the same mindset. Yo, I'm coming here to work out. My home is the bars, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to make my home the Ring right now.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll see where that goes. But it's going from the start, bro. Like, I was adopted from born, G.
Okay.
I was adopted from birth. My real I don't know my real parents, both mum and dad, and they couldn't look after me, so I got adopted by this mum called Josephine. This woman called Josephine. She was just a Filipino woman, bro, just a Filipino woman, and she there's a lot of things that people don't know about me, but I used to be a professional theatre actor, so I used to be in theatre. I used to be in King and I and Lion King. I used to be one of the
that's crazy,
insane. This is why I get like a bit of like, I'm not scared to be in front of 10,000 people. I can be myself and not give a shit about them. You know, you're here to see me anyways. You know, I used to be in that because my mum my first mum, she used to put me through auditions and stuff like that. I didn't even know it was auditions. I thought my mum was like, yeah, go and do this, listen to the man, and you probably be able to skip school. That's what she used to say to me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll do anything to skip school. I'll do anything to skip school. She passed away when I was 10. I did so many adverts and stuff like that, and I did like tours all around England in the King and I and Lion King, and then she passed away when I was 10, and I started to clock on like this woman's old, bro. She was like 50 when she adopted me.
Okay.
And then she actually told me, yo, I'm not your real mum. You know, I'm not your real mum. Your real mum's out there. And she's actually written letters to you to be like, yo, we want to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I was such a stubborn 10-year-old kid to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Ended up going like foster care for a little bit. And then I was being approached by a social worker to be like, yo, like we know you don't like it here in foster care. Foster care sucks, bro. It sucks. Some people like it because they feel like it's their home. You know, I didn't feel like it was my home. Right. So that was the only reason why I didn't like it. I felt alone, bro. Small little Asian kid, you know, alone. I didn't have no one blood related to me. I couldn't defend myself. It was like kind of like youth offenders. Kind of like youth offenders. Everyone's crazy, running around crazy, playing with toys, doing this. It's nothing bad. Like, you know, it's nothing bad, but it wasn't just, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And my social worker was like, don't you have a place that you want to stay for like a couple of days where we figure out your situation? I was like, I got a best friend that I used to hang around with in the area. You know, every now and then and play Yu-Gi-Oh cards and shit like that.
Big up Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, you know, and play like little football. It wasn't even like we couldn't even play football in the pitch because we didn't want to be surrounded by all man them. You know, I was a innocent kid, bro, before the drugs and dealing and shotting and all of that, and innocent little kid. You know, his mum his name is Alex Chris, and he's my brother now, the one that's got sent to the Philippines.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I can ask my mum if you can stay with us for a couple of days. He's a Filipino kid, you know?
Yeah.
And his mum knew my mum.
Oh, wow.
My first mum. His mum knew my mum. And I stayed with him for a couple of days and I got along with the family to the point that his mum was like, I'm going to adopt you.
Have you ever felt that males are intimidated by you?
Funny you say that because I was thinking about...
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like... intimidation because I'm big or scary or like this. It's what's under here. Do you know what I mean? So I like it, my arms and things like that, and my legs, but it's like if I go out and I'm wearing a top or a dress or something, like I said, I like it, but I'll get, so what do you do, wrestling or da-da-da, and then when I say what I do, then it's not that it puts them off, but I think they're like, I think stereotypically guys, or some guys would want a nice female, you know, girly girl. So,
yeah. No, I hear it because I hear it all the I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
So, back a day, some years ago, before all the grey hairs started popping through, you know, I was really into bodybuilding.
I thought you were going to say I was really a gallus, innit? But.
Bro, why are you doing it, bro?
No.
See the ring on the finger? Like, let's
bro,
not rehash history right now, yeah?
Oh, right. You didn't know it was a night. I thought it was going to be like, nah, bro, that's not me.
Bro, I'm walking my truth very, very strongly, bro. But used to hear it all the time, like, and not just with guys, like, I don't want a girl who's too muscly in it, but you'd also hear it with women, like when they came into the gym. And their first thing would be like, oh, I want to strengthen my hips and I want to get some abs, but I don't want to be too muscly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so this has always been a persistent ideology that like women are supposed to be soft and things like that. I've said before, like, I want you to carry some heavy shit, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, help me with the bags. Like,
but I think I used to get quite put down by it before, but then obviously, like, boxing's my main focus, so I'm like, boxing first, you know, relationship after.
Yeah.
But it was like the other day, I actually went to get some food with Gemma, and there was these guys on the table next to us, and they were great guys, and we were just talking about my fight and stuff, and they're like, we really want to support. And then we were just talking about like positivity and stuff, and Gemma was like, yeah, you need to get a book and calendar and da-da-da. Then the guy was like, oh, can I have your Instagram so we can get tickets from you? So I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then he's scrolling through. Oh my gosh, I would be with you here. Then the next one, but I wouldn't be with you here. Then the next one,
that's wild.
I would be with you here, but not here. Do you know what I mean? But like the old Shannon would have been like, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? But now I'm like, no, that's on you. Like, you don't want to be with me. No, it's not about being, I wasn't going to be with him, sorry. But I'm just saying, in general, overall, the right person will be with me.
Just
you know? So the part of stressing about that and stuff, I'm over that.
Do you know what it is as well? So you obviously have to be flexible as a teacher and know that one thing I didn't know until I became head of year was, well, not that I didn't know, I didn't appreciate, like, we assume as teachers that every student that's coming to the classroom is coming with their basic needs fulfilled. You know, they've had breakfast, they've had a shower, you know, they've had this life at home that we had. And so you just assume everyone, so you're there arguing with the student for not being prepared for lesson when they probably had to get their brother or sister ready for school. So their pen is not their biggest concern. And so that's one thing. Every student isn't equal when they come in the classroom. The second thing is, why is this student being disruptive? You know, is it because my lesson is too boring? Because that could be it. It could be it's too difficult or it's too easy or I'm not, so you really have to reflect as a teacher and think, this child is lashing out in my classroom for a reason. What is it? Sometimes you can't deal with it right then in the classroom, and that's why you have to remove them. But it's not just to remove it, you have a detention, come back, same thing happens, remove you. And I did have another point in this, but the first one was really good, so we'll just say that.
Given the drive and stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I heard a story about you flipping cars.
Oh yeah.
So was that your start of like, okay, this I have to grind, I have to
before that.
Is it?
It's mad. Like when Space Jam came out, I was in year 8. And I was like, I started drawing them because I love art. I've always been into art. Right. So I started drawing those. And then one guy goes, oh, that's really cool. Can I buy one? Yeah. Went home, got a folder with all of like the plastic sheets in there. I started drawing multiple copies. And then I started laminating them. And then I priced them up. I was like, that one's 50p. That one's 90p. And then after that, it was like computer games. Like eBay started coming around that time. And all the old school gaming shops.
Okay.
So then I would get like a N64 Mega Drive or whatever that's dusty. And I take it apart and I clean it up. Then I find a box and then I package it all together and then I go sell it. And then incrementally I just kept like getting little bits of money here and there. Yeah. And that was like, then I started paper round. Then I started working officially. And then like flipping cars and stuff happened just before uni.
Okay.
So I got a car. I was walking down my friend's street, and every time we walked past, there was this white Austin Metro.
Okay. Oh, mad.
Battered. It was like, but we kept it was there for time, and like when like, the tires start flat, and I was like, no, this hasn't moved in like months. Looked inside the windscreen. I was like, well, it's only done 39,000 miles. I was like, started knocking on the doors all the way down. Is that your car? Is that your car? Is that your car? No. And then one woman opened, old woman. She was like, yes. I was like, is that your car? She was like, It's like, do you want it? She's like, no, you can take it. I'll give you £50 because that feels weird. Like,
I had a coach when I was 13, a guy from Nigeria called Joe. I have never, ever seen discipline like it in my life. Like, I was 13, obviously young. He's from Nigeria. He was only in the UK maybe for like 5 or 6 years, but he was very hard-headed, stubborn Nigerian man. Like, if you don't listen to him, he used to hit me with the hurdles. You know what the hurdles? So I was like, rah, man, this is real discipline.
Yeah.
Listen, I was so in line. Listen, when I was that age, I would talk back to anyone. Don't care if you're older than me. I'm not gonna lie, I had no respect, man. I was lawless. With him, I knew the score, man. This is what I'm saying. When you have powerful, inspirational men who just don't take crap from anyone, I don't care who you are, you're going to respect them. Yeah. And that was me. I respected him. Yeah. And he simply trained 5 days a week. So I tell people all the time, I started training properly when I was like 10 years old, and people are like, nah, you didn't. I'm like, I swear down, I actually did. And he used to get me in circuits every day. I used to throw up most sessions. He didn't care. And you know what? I'm glad, because that flipped a switch in my head and it made me the person I am today, whereas I can push myself as hard as I want. I'm very comfortable being uncomfortable. I know people say it, but I'm very comfortable there. It doesn't faze me.
My name's Sammy.
My name is Don.
My name's Sammy.
My name is Don.
My name's Sammy.
My name is Don.
And we've been the family.
Bah.